Welcome to Retirement Ramblings. I'm Scott, and today is day 177 on my countdown to retirement, plus a quick catch up for day 178. So, for day 178, I ended up contacting Consumer Cellular to find out when I would be receiving the first bill for my mom's Iris Alloy medical alert device that I'm paying for. And I also needed to set up a new password on the account. So they told me that the invoice would be processed on the 8th, and that the due date would be around the 25th, following the time when the invoice processes. So then after that, I called and scheduled an appointment with the local Toyota dealership to take my truck in because it needs rear brakes. And also I have an airbag sensor light that came on about 4 weeks ago that I tried to do everything I can to troubleshoot and fix, and I can't figure out what it is. So I asked them to troubleshoot it, and we'll figure out how much that's going to be tomorrow. Then I received a bunch of emails from Norwegian Cruise Lines about my upcoming cruise. 6 more days until I can do the check-in process. And then I checked on Amazon to see if there were any Prime Day sales that they were like pre-announcing on the DJI Action Pro Adventure Combo, which is the camera that I wanted, which is an MSRP of $449. And they hadn't had anything yet. But the countdown clock was like 5 hours until they were going to release it. So that was my day 178. Then today, day 177, I got up and I looked at, logged on to Amazon Prime, and I wanted to see what was happening for the Prime Day sales. And I also compared, because I wanted to order the camera, so I also compared Amazon pricing against Walmart, B&H Photo, Best Buy, Costco, and a local store we have here called Micro Center. And long story short, I ended up buying the GoPro Hero 13 Black Creator Edition along with an anamorphic lens. And I bought it directly from GoPro online because the cost of the camera was the same everywhere that I just mentioned. And GoPro was throwing in the cost of a 1-year subscription to GoPro Premium, and because you were going to be part of the GoPro Premium subscription, they also threw in a substantial discount on the anamorphic lens that I wanted. So, and they threw in free shipping. So I ordered it from them, and then I ended up getting the GoPro accessories from Amazon because they did have really good Prime Day sales that beat all the other platforms that I checked on: the GoPro chest mount, the GoPro head strap 2.0, the GoPro protective housing, which you can use for diving. So instead of just being able to go diving down to 30 feet, you can go to like 160 something feet. Not that I'm going to, but I wanted to make sure that I could take the camera wherever and I didn't have to worry about the water. And one of the things I had read specifically around Iceland is, even though it's a waterproof camera by itself, it isn't the depth of the water that these cameras have challenges with. It's water pressure as it's hitting it. And so if you're going to be walking behind waterfalls, or you're going to be getting any kind of substantial amount of direct water spray, you really need to have a protective housing on the camera, which is why I ended up buying it. And then I bought 2 SanDisk Extreme Pro 256 gig micro SD cards. They should hold, each card should hold about 4.5 to 4.75 hours worth of content. So, that should be plenty of, on 2 cards, that should be plenty of content to be able to document, my trip. And then I bought 2 stainless steel half tray baking sheets because we needed them, and a packet of 100 3x3 2 mil clear plastic, reclosable zip bags that my wife wanted for some reason. And then, as you may recall, I had done a bunch of research comparing the DJI Action Pro 5 against the GoPro Hero 13. Black, which is the one I just bought or ordered, and I had decided to buy the DJI Action Pro 5. So what happened? Well, um, surprise to me, but when I was preparing to purchase the camera, I came upon a new review on Reddit where somebody indicated that in order to activate the DJ5 Action Pro camera, you needed to download and install the DJI Mimo app on your phone. And it only supported a limited amount of phones. I was like, that can't be right. So I went out to the DJI website, and sure enough, not only for that camera, but for a lot of their applications, including their microphones, you've got to activate the device using this app on your phone. And while they support Android devices, and you have to be running at least Android version 8, which is, an older version of Android. Like, I have a Google Pixel phone, and I'm like, and I have the latest version of Android, which is Android 16. And I'm like, I cannot believe my phone isn't one of the ones that's supported, but it's not. And they're like, you can try downloading the stuff and see if it works. So I downloaded it onto the phone. The app itself loaded okay, but then inside the license agreement, it pretty much said, if you go buy the camera and you go to activate it with this app and it doesn't work, well, then, you can return the camera and we'll give you a refund. And like, I don't want to go through that hassle. In addition to, they make you register, give them all kinds of data about you, where you live, what information from your camera. They get to keep all kinds of information that I don't really think is appropriate to be sharing. When I just bought a consumer electronics product, like it's none of their damn business. Anyway, based on that, I decided that I'm going to go with my second choice camera, which is the GoPro 13 Black. So that's the way that goes. I just can't believe that a company is requiring that to use a consumer electronics product. And by the way, the product, the actual app that you have to download, I forget what the exact rating was. I want to say it was like 2.5 stars. Like, it's not very good. And then at least the GoPro, if you choose to use their app because you want to do editing or something on your phone, their app has a really good rating and really positive reviews. But, you can use the camera right out of the box. You don't have to register. You don't have to do anything, and other than, pop in the SD card and get on your way. The negative of the GoPro, which was the reason I was originally leaning towards the DJI Action 5, was they had direct integrated sound by using like the DJI, either DJI Mic Mini or the DJI Mic 2 wireless microphones. And that's what I wanted to use, but that's not going to work. And so basically within the GoPro, I have to have the media mod, which I do have, and then you've got to connect in, a regular cable to go from the mic that you purchased into the camera so that you can get high quality sound. While they do support Bluetooth, all the reviews I've read on that indicate that the audio is crap, and that's not what I want. So in any event, I'll pick whichever mic I want and use it along with a little cable and run it into the camera. Next, I finally got the bill from Consumer Cellular for the Iris Ally medical alert device for my mom that I'm paying for, and it ends up costing me $33 a month, which is the fixed $25 a month for the actual service, and then there's $8 in miscellaneous fees. It is what it is. So still at $33 a month for what she's got. And I know it works because it's gone off now multiple times where she's either, laid down quickly or done something that it noticed the drop in, like you were falling over, and the person's called, made sure she's okay and whatever. So I feel much better about that, even though she gets kind of embarrassed by it. Like, I'm feeling way better knowing that she's not going to end up getting hurt, and she's not going to be able to reach somebody. So, well worth the money to me. Then a friend of mine called me, and I spent about an hour with him trying to troubleshoot why he couldn't get into Microsoft Outlook on a Dell laptop. And come to find out, he had to go take all of his Apple devices today up to Best Buy to the Geek Squad because his phone got hacked, and because he shares stuff across all these different devices, they were able to get into all the different devices and mess with them. So basically, it cost him like $40. He was able to get all the Apple devices cleared back up and is able to use them again. And now he's trying to get his Dell laptop, which is a Windows machine, back running properly. While I could get him into his mail a number of different ways, I could not get Outlook to synchronize with his Gmail account. And since I can't physically see the machine or see what messages are popping up, and it's a challenge talking to him about what's happening. After an hour, I pretty much gave up, and he's going to take it to the Geek Squad tomorrow and see, if they can rectify the problem. But fundamentally, and I only bring this up because lots of people do this, the challenge is he doesn't practice safe cybersecurity practices. So, he doesn't have two-factor authentication turned on in his email. I hope he does on his bank accounts, because that would be crazy if he didn't. But he goes to Facebook and other social media sites. He clicks on links for content that he has no idea where it originated. He takes content that has photos with links embedded, and he shares them with his other friends, and they click on them, and vice versa. All of those things are the fastest way to get malware onto a device. And so, definitely shouldn't do it. And if you are doing it, you should definitely be able to protect the key elements of your communications and recovery mechanisms. So if email happens to be one of those things, or text messages, or what, you should definitely be using some form of multi-factor authentication to ensure that they don't have access to that piece of data to be able to lock you out of your accounts or send emails to all your friends and cause them to have problems, what have you. Anyway, then my mom sent me a couple photos. They took down her dust wall in her living room, where they just put in the impact resistant sliding glass doors on her balcony. They're still working on the windows for her dining room, but it's clear to me that we're definitely going to need to do repair work afterwards. The ceiling got messed up, which I was expecting, and also when they took down the wall section that was there before to put in the sliding glass doors, obviously the tile that's in her living room doesn't go all the way to where the door is now. So I'm going to have a tile person come in. I do have the extra tile, so that's good. And they'll have to either cut the tiles or do something to get it where they can then piece in something that looks aesthetically pleasing to get the room back in order. And then tomorrow, as I indicated earlier, I scheduled an appointment for my truck to go and have its rear brakes done, as well as the the airbag sensor adjusted, or hopefully rectified. I have no idea what that's going to cost. I know that the brakes are going to cost me about $190, but no telling how much it's going to cost for them to troubleshoot the airbag sensor. And the airbag sensor itself, there's two different ones, and the cheapest one of the two is like $180. So, it could go up to the part alone could be $180 to like $350. So not including all the labor it'll take to figure it out. Anyway, it'll be whatever it is. But that is my update for today, as well as yesterday. So if you have any questions or any comments, please leave them in the comment section down below, or drop me an email at myretirementramblings@gmail.com. Otherwise, I hope you have a great evening, and until tomorrow, take care.